That's one thing that bothers me. Seeing there's a new program that's coming on TV now where they have a group of archaeologists going out to different places and digging up sites. That really bothers me because a lot of these sites are to Indian people are tied to, you know, we know that it was our ancestors' time. They did what they had to do, and then when they passed away, and we knew that they were there, and we knew what they were doing at that time, and then they passed on, and they were buried in that area. That area was very special and sacred to them at that time. So when that happens, that's a time period that's happened, and we feel that when you uncover that stuff, you're disturbing it's kind of like a thing called the natural law. And every time you disturb or bother natural law, there's repercussions for that. And European people have never understood that, It's like, it would be like me going to the Vatican and digging up the Pope's grave and saying, well, I'm going to take this back to Montana and study the Pope's human remains and put it on a shelf for 40 or 50 years, and I don't know if I'm going to give the bones back, So that's the type of thing that the Indian people feel, once you start the movement of uncovering stuff, and it's kind of like disturbing, and it's really disturbing to us as Indian people, not only from this tribe, but all tribes. Once you start messing with like natural law and start uncovering this stuff, it has a effect. It has a kind of a spiritual effect on Indian people, the way that they carry out their lives,
Mm-hmm.
So with our tribe, there's been a lot of disturbance all over Montana. Um, um, Uncovering things that has huge effects on the way Indian people live today. A lot of people don't realize this, but there are people out there that do understand this, and that's why they have to take care of themselves, and then they have to really pray really hard for things to go smooth or to go good in not only their lives but their families' lives, and they pray really hard for the whole tribal existence to keep on carrying on. So that's probably one of the bigger differences that we have as far as asking a question or getting an answer, because tribal people pretty much know the answers already,
Mm-hmm.
Certain tribal people do, So that's in a nutshell, that's kind of that would be the kind of the answer for that question.
A big difference.
It's a big difference. It's just like I said before, I've been to the Smithsonian in Washington, D.C., and I've walked down halls and halls of human remains that were dug up in the early Calvary days of, not only our ancestors, but people, other tribal people in the plains, Oklahoma and all over the place, that the government paid the soldiers just to go out and dig up graves and just to collect skulls, just so they could measure the diameter of the brain, the head of the skulls and stuff. They took them to Washington, D.C. and separated those human remains, where all skulls were in one box, and finger bones and hand bones and arm bones were in other boxes. So when they do that and they separate the human remains, that creates a big problem, because they're disturbing natural law. And the other thing, it's no different than when they uncover spearheads or scrapers or tools that our ancestors used, you know, when they uncover those and dig them up, put them in a box and study them and bring them back to a university or wherever to do their studying, a lot of those things don't get returned and put back into the ground, because if they were returned, you know, that would make it a little bit easier for that natural law to keep on going. That's why things have gotten so crazy. I mean,